Hello, everybody. Oh, we get to go first on my first game of the evening? That works out really well. Too bad I have just a bunch of tap lands. That's okay. This deck is going to be part of the Kaizen Evil playlist. So, for the newer people, welcome to Tpull's Corner. I'm Travis. I'm always the host, and they're going to take my lightning helix because I'm not allowed to have nice things. And the Kaizen is a Japanese term. It's used to mean incremental self-improvement. So they talk about practicing it in the workplace and getting like 1% better each day. We created a list, a whole bunch of decks in Magic the Gathering that were the very worst of the worst. Just absolutely evil stuff. Like mill decks, discard decks, even worse than 2 Deep Cavern Bats in a row. Just a ton of evil. And we're getting better all the time. And we're in this sort of upper ring now. It's still an evil ring. It's like Dante's Inferno. We reached a higher level. It's not quite as evil. But the key is... Pardon me while I attack here. We've got into this sort of area where we're talking about the evil of the developers themselves in terms of the power creep they've let get into the game and things that they used to publicly state they weren't going to do because they were overpowering in the game. And suddenly, without really announcing that they've ever changed their mind or anything like that, it just turns out that they do them anyway. Okay, I think it's okay to bring out Toby. But I can't really swing in an attack past the Dread Knight right now. So they got me in a bind, and they've also got a 4/4 eventually they can get to. I should have probably put Delney down first. I could have gotten 2 4/4s, so that's my first mistake. Yeah, they do their... Well, you know what? It wouldn't have mattered, because they have Maelstrom Pulse, and they would have killed it anyway. So let's put this down, and I guess we'll put the land down. I'm looking to start swinging in with Inti next. I just need something that I'm willing to discard to pump him up, to trade with Mosswood Dread Knight. And the enemy is content just to sit there and do all this stuff. I just need one interaction card, really. That's good for them. They can afford that. Since I don't have... I wonder if I could... No, let me just swing in. Let me swing in here. Let me swing in just with that. I have to discard the extra. But we do get 2 counters, or just 1. No, but we get 2 card draw. Oh, wow. We got rid of 1. We had all 4. Interesting. Okay, that changes things. Because now I can sort of swing in with Arabella. Oh, no, I didn't cast them. It wouldn't have done any good. I can only keep 1 legendary out at a time. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened. Those are the cards that I most wanted to keep. This forms the core of why the deck is evil. Legendary 2-drops. Something that the developers just say they wanted to stay away from. Okay, they can just draw a card and then bring down their 3/2 again, and I'm still in trouble. But, let's see. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Okay, so... Arabella can still get through. Unless... Never mind. Okay. I'm sensing a pattern. How many of those cards can they get? Let's see. Do those go back into the deck? Are those Omen cards? Oh, this is kind of cool. Okay, we'll do this. That is a good hit. They don't have a demon yet. Oh, there they go. There's their demon. Okay, so now they'll get 2 life. And 2 more there. So that's going to be 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is perfect. Get rid of you. Attack with everybody. Do the 5 damage there. And they can block, but they're going to die. And even if they had, by some miracle, they're tapped out, they couldn't have done anything. But even if they blocked all of those and killed them, we could still do 3 damage direct to their face. Okay, so it looked touch and go for a while. When the opponent gets 2 of the bats out and they remove 2 essential cards from your hand, you start to worry. You really do. But let's see what we can find. Legendary Evil, part of the Kaizen Evil playlist. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at legendary 2-drops specifically because what the developers used to say is basically, if you're going to make a legendary creature, it has to be splashy. So by definition, it's really going to be a little overpowered over all of your other cards of the same mana value. And the issue with that is the lower that you go, the bigger the difference is, because you're getting it early. And getting something that's overpowered earlier in the game really makes a big difference. So I've got a bunch of 2 and 3 drops. Even some of the 3 drops are legendary to help out. But let me go through what we got. We got Destroy Evil. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater, or get rid of an enchantment. Not on my watch to exile a target creature. And guess what? That and the 3 lightning helixes, that's all I have for removal. Just 5 removal cards or interaction. I've got 2 Voices of Victory with Mobilize 2, so we can bring some token creatures into the field, and your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. Here's a legendary 2-drop. Inti, Seneskull of the Sun. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, you can put a +1 counter on any target attacking creature you have. That creature gains trample until end of the turn. Then whenever you discard 1 or more cards, you exile the top card of your library, and you may play that card until your next end step. So you have to play it that turn. The early cards that you exile, you're probably going to have to accept that you're going to lose those and not be able to play those. If you have a chance and you start getting 4 or 5 spare energy, then you can sort of like discard with glee and feel confident that you can cast whatever's going to come up. We had all 4 of these show up in our first match, actually. Arabella, Abandoned Doll, legendary artifact creature, 1/3. Whenever Arabella attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. That's almost everybody we have, although we can pump some of them up over time. As an example, another legendary creature. And you notice these are all different expansions, right? So we're not cheating, right? But they decided they were going to go ahead and make the 2-drop legendaries. So if you're going to do something evil, we're going to maximize the evil. This is from Ixalan, this is from Eldraine, this is from Duskworn, and this is from Dominaria United. Baird, Argivian Recruiter, 2/2. Beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power greater than its base power, create a 1/1 white creature token. Soldier creature token. You see a picture there to the right. I like to pair that up with Ash Party Crasher when I have 4. I bring down Baird, and then I bring down Ash. And Ash has Celebration. Whenever Ash attacks, if 2 or more non-land permanents entered the battlefield, put a +1 counter on Ash. So since Ash has haste, I can put down Baird, then I put down Ash, attack with Ash, give Ash a token or a counter, and now that Ash has a counter, she's greater than base power, and I get a 1/1 token at the end of my turn. So these are great paired together. Dalkovan Pack Beast, got 4 copies of that, get me a bunch of 1/1s. And I like to pair those with Delny Streetlights Lookout. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. And if an ability or a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So we're going to get 2 card draws out of this. We're going to get 4 tokens out of this instead of 2. Arabella is going to have 2 activations. Dalkovan Pack Beast is going to give us 6 1/1s instead of 3. Delny is a danger. That's all there is to it. Delny also gives us 1 extra token beast. So when Toby comes down, Beastie Befriender, you get normally a 4/4 white beast creature token. Delny means you get 2 of those. It's activation. Now the token can attack or block alone, but this is pretty cool. When you control 4 or more creature tokens you control have flying. So if I get Toby down with some pack beasts, I can probably just fly over anything my opponent has on the ground and just take them out really fast. 1 Enduring Innocence, 2/1 with lifelink. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. The ability only triggers once a turn, and when this dies, it comes back purely as an enchantment, has the same impact. Anim Pakal, Thousandth Moon, Legendary Human Soldier, 1/2. Whenever you attack with one or more non-gnome creatures, you get a +1/+1 counter on Anim Pakal. Then create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Anim Pakal. If you haven't played with this card, it could be a little confusing, but basically when you attack the first time, you're going to get a +1 counter on Anim, and then since she has one, when you attack again, you're going to put another counter on. She'll have 2. You'll create 2 gnomes. Then the next turn, you're going to attack again. She'll get another +1. She will be a 3/4 creature. You'll get to create 3 tapped and attacking gnome artifacts, and so on and so forth. If you do anything else to add counters to her, it will increase the effect. Thousand Moon Smithy. When it enters, create a white gnome soldier artifact creature token. The power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. I don't know why they do or. I guess if you only have one and not the other, right? If you only have artifacts or only have creatures. But it's artifacts and creatures both get counted. At the beginning of your May phase, if you tap 5 untapped artifacts and or creatures, you transform it to the legendary artifact land you see to the right, and then whenever you cast an artifact or creature by tapping this land, you get another gnome soldier artifact creature token, and that power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts and creatures you control. Tokens don't count like this. Heroic Reinforcements. You just saw me win with this, basically. Create 2 1/1 tokens. They get +1/+1 and gain haste. I don't have a lot of haste in the game. I have Ash that has haste, 2 copies of that. I have Heroic, and I have Midnight Mayhem, 3 red gremlin creature tokens. They gain menace, lifelink, and haste just till the end of the turn. Those haste things really help. Here's the final haste card. Sometimes. 0 and legendary creature 5/4. As long as you have exile a legendary creature from among them, and then until the end of the turn you can cast it without paying its cost. And I've got so many legendary creatures in here. This is the one drawback out of all of this, is they don't actually tell you here what the breakout of the legendary is. They just tell you the creature types. But we can go through real quick. I got 4, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 legendary creatures! And most of them are 2-drops. Legendary has that extra splash, that extra thing that they add on purpose to make it exciting. When you get to the higher levels, like 7-drop spells, and it's because of the power creep, sometimes it's 6, 5, or 4. Some of those spells can be powerful enough that they're game enders. They don't have to be legendary, but if they are legendary, it's more likely that they would be kind of a game ender. But if you get some of these legendaries out really soon, and you don't have instant removal against them, it can ruin the entire game really fast. This is not the absolute best hand. I would prefer to have a 2-drop legendary creature. I've got enough of them in the deck. But this is not bad. I still have a 2-drop I can play if I have to. I've got a way to exile a creature. I've got Delny already, which is not bad. As long as Voice of Victory's on the field, they can't do anything during my turn. That alone usually makes them want to get rid of this really fast, which is kind of why I'm hoping. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, right? It's fine. How do we want to do this? I didn't get a land drop. They can't kill me with that, so they can block 1, and I get 2 points of damage in real quick. I want to wait to kill this because During your end step, the token can't be sacrificed, but what if I kill it afterwards? Do those tokens still stay on the field? I don't know this. That's a good combo. We're going to try and block there, save 3 points. Okay. Now we destroy it. Do the tokens stay? They do. Okay, so I learned something I didn't know. And they're laughing at me. Is that good or bad? If we can get Delny down, we're going to get a lot more. We're going to have 10 attackers instead of 5. If we get to keep any around. Well, isn't this interesting? Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm not dead, so let's do it. This is 11 points. And I don't think they can kill me next turn. If they don't kill the pack beast, I can use them as a blocker. He's got about 11 points of damage this way. 12, 13. He might have lethal if he can bring down more creatures with War Leader's Call still on the field. So I do have to be careful. I'm going to have to sacrifice Delny for sure. Now this guy can't block anything. So close. What can you do? Could still kill me. If one or more creatures died this turn. There's one. Oh no, it exiled. Oh, they gained life though. Shoot. But that's everybody. That's only 8 points. Do I get to win? They gave all they had. I wonder what these other cards are. I've talked before, it's been a few months, but I've talked before how it would be really nice if the opponent's open to it. They could click a button and allow you to see what's left in their hand. Just to get a better idea of what the deck was and what their situation was finally. I think that would be useful, especially for the newer people for learning. And we'd make it voluntary, right? It would be one person would, push the button and the other person would see it and they'd have a chance to respond before they left. And say, oh yeah, I'll trade with you. I'll look at what was in your hand. You can look at mine at the very end. I used to do that with my friends all the time. We'd do this like after action kind of thing. And we'd say, okay, what did you have? You don't do that with poker, right? You want to be able to bluff in poker, but in other games... Oh, it's a self-mill deck. Alright, so Zombify? Or just another type of reanimation? Overlord's very common in those. And there's Zombify. Huskbursters turn out to be a very common card in there as well. Let's see. I can go ahead and just put on another tapped one for now. I'm not too concerned about the gnawing vermin. I wonder if they're going to run into land problems, though, because they had 2 swamps they threw away already. And they've actually thrown away 3 swamps total. Let's try and put down the pack beasts and see if they stick. If they do, we can turn the tables the very next turn. 3 of the vermin. Uh-oh. Another swamp, though. That's gross. Alright, I can't do everything. But I can put Delny out. They can't block it. And I can swing in with 6. That's right. The Gravestalker can't block a single thing. They can't block one thing with 9 vermin. And they elect to keep their stuff. Probably why. They knew they had life gain. They got another swamp. Who knows what strange things they can do now. You don't have a 1-drop that can kill my creature, do you? You got 1 open energy. Let's block there. Let's block there. Hopefully they don't have anything. Okay, they don't. Good. We're down to 12. Oh, they'll kill Delny. Shoot. I forgot about that. It's been so long since I went up against gnawing vermin. Okay. So let's go ahead and attack with this. Then we bring down Thousand Moon Smithy. We get a 4/4. Oh, it's a 6/6. Never mind. I forgot this counts, right? Because it's an artifact itself. It's not looking good for us, actually. That is based on a lot of cheap stuff, that's for sure. Yeah, they had so much spell reduction. What's left for me to do? Shoot. I've got 1 blocker there. No attacks, so I can block with 2 if they don't have removal. They got so much cost reduction they could do all of this with only 3. It's not a bad deck. They're going to lose the Aftermath cards. That's kind of ridiculous. Against me. But we know that I only have 5 interaction cards and I don't have any board wipes, so that can happen. But that is a very nicely put together deck that takes maximum advantage of cost reduction for mono black. And we didn't get the 2-drops that we wanted. I would like to demonstrate more of the evil of the 2-drop legendaries, if I could, Arena. Let's go in. We counted up how many there were total. Let's go in just for a sec. If this server will stop taking forever. Where'd you go? Specifically for just the 2-drops. Let's see. Voice of Victory is not legendary. 4, 8, 10, 11. So we got 11 out of the 28 are 2-drop legendaries. Slightly better than 30% odds of a creature that I have in my opening hand being a 2-drop legendary. Took a while to find us an opponent, even though we already lost. Usually it doesn't take quite that long. There we have one 2-drop. Alright, it's a start. They're right out the gate. They're doing stuff. This one is a cheaper deck, right? Because I do have so many 2-drops. I don't have any 1-drops. But I do have vast majority 2 and 3 drops. It is one of my cheaper decks compared to a lot of the stuff that I tend to do. I also have a bunch of tap lands, which can hurt me sometimes. Artifact deck? Okay, this is good. First blood is mine. And I got a little life gain to hold me over, tide me over in case they turn the tables on me. They're digging. They like the card on top. Okay, fine. Let's see what we got coming up. I can scry too, you know. That's a good card to keep. Toby. Yeah, let's do Toby. Three there. 4 more there. They need either a board wipe or at least to get rid of the 4/4. But they don't know what I got coming their way next, so they really need a board wipe. I mean, opponent. You really need a board wipe. They got 7 energy, though, so what do you got? Not enough. Guarantee not enough. I'll show you why. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of flyers here. They get to create lots of extra tokens. We could just destroy them, but we're actually just going to end the match here. Look at all the flyers. It's like 9 points just over their head alone. They can stop 1 point of damage somewhere. That was beautiful. That's what happens when I get a legendary 2-drop in my opening hand. Now we don't get to keep all of these cards, or we're going to lose some due to rotation. I just put out a guide deck for earning achievements. All of those decks are going to lose cards, but the bones of them, the original concept of almost all of them is still intact. We can find replacement cards. So I'm encouraging people, if you like these decks, I've had this deck for a couple of weeks. I take this into ranked, actually. What do I do? They got 1-drops that have 2 power already. And they can scale them. So I need my removal actually already. And all I got, well, I can put down, I guess let's try Arabella. Maybe they won't care if they don't have a fight spell. Maybe they'll keep attacking me and they'll underestimate what it can do. Or they'll just have a mythic rare 2-drop. Look, it's a legendary 2-drop. And they're going to be able to scale it up. And with just 2 more lands, they can double all the counters they have. This is like their perfect mana curve opening. There's just nothing better they could have asked for. I'm gonna be dead so fast. That's another sacrificial land, so they can pump it up even more. I'm toast. Yeah, whenever Arena wants to beat me. I mean, the last battle we won so decisively, so quickly. You can see here, it's a 7 and it's a trampler. 8 and a trampler. We're not done yet. Ten trampler. Nearly dead. Yeah, what can I do against that? I didn't get a land drop. So not only did they put me up against landfall, which they always do when they want me to lose, they also mana starved me while making sure my opponent got extra land draw. They had such an ideal curve, they still had 2 cards in their hand they hadn't even bothered to use yet. So, yeah, I think they helped reinforce my point. You get with those 2-drop legendaries down. It's evil. They get you. They got me just now. Although with other more normal decks, I'd have a lot more interaction. We might have better odds of having some removal at that point. It is kind of tough against the landfall deck. You really do need like 3-4 good removal cards in your first, few draws. Just because they scale to lethal so quickly. And we're over 30 seconds to find a match. Which is unusual. Okay, we have 2 2-drops that are legendary. This is a good opening hand. We have 2 removal of the 5. And we have 1 tap land, and our second one can be untapped if we want to keep going good and cast something. And there goes my haste advantage for my 5 haste cards. That's going to give them a big extra lease on life if I don't take it out. Ooh, I hate to lose that, but I need land. I'm holding on to this because they might come up with a big creature. I want to see what creatures they have. If they have angels, they always have the 5-drop legendary with first strike and lifelink. Angel comes out on turn 5. I'll take that. Do we want to throw something away? We do not. We really made them think, didn't we? We'll go play with the pets while we're waiting. That's right, that's 2 legendary 2-drops you got, basically. They didn't get rid of it. We could actually do something with it if we wanted to. But the nice thing is, they didn't remove it. We still get the effect, so if we still want to add a counter onto somebody, if we're willing to discard a card, we still have that option. Another lifelink, and one that's really good. We cannot have that. Notice that's a legendary. Not a 2-drop, it is a 3-drop, but we have some 3-drops too. Still gonna keep what I've got. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Let's get a beastie. We will... no, you know what? I'm not going to discard that. Tapped out. I think I want to play this next turn. Okay, don't have the 5-drop angel for a change. For once in a month. Do not have the on-curve mythic rare. I'm hoping they're taking time because they're kind of stuck for what they're going to do. Okay, that's not quite so bad. Not quite as bad. How about a 5/5? If they don't gain any life this turn, or only gain 1, I think we got them. It depends on if they have removal. We might have some breathing room if they have a good advantage, because we are at 35. They can turn that into a 5/5. Okay, creatures gain indestructible. They have lifelink, though. It's more life gain than I thought they were going to get. Okay, but if I put this down, they can't block, and we get double. Oh, this is perfect. We just won. Flyer. No, we lost Toby, so none of them are flying. There we go. Life is good. All right, it's late at night and we're close to the rotation. We're actually going to lose some of these. And I just got my chore done for the day, so to speak, online. So let's give you one more look at the deck list. We didn't get the big one out. We didn't get Jaro and Hazoret out. Sometimes if the game lasts a long time, we can start to really tilt the battle with Thousand Moon Smithy. But you saw we used Heroic Reinforcements and Midnight Mayhem. That combined with the other stuff, like especially if we have Tobiatin, we can get them flying. That does really good. We can get a really big draw advantage if we get Enduring Innocence out early. Doesn't matter if it dies or not. And then, of course, if you get an early Anim Bakal, that can snowball in and of itself. So we didn't demonstrate everything the deck can do. I didn't even get to show you too much of Ash attacking the same turn it came out. Or even we didn't even have Baird show up. So there's so many aspects to this deck still that we didn't even get to show you. And remember, we did it with only 5 removal cards, 5 interact. This isn't even necessarily removal, right? If they have things that are more than toughness 3. So just 5 interaction cards. And the rest is just creatures. And it's evil, I tell you. Maybe not as evil as like pure discard or, pure exile that we've done earlier. But evil. But we're going to get better. We're going to move more towards the side of the angels. This is getting close, I think, to the end of the theme of the developers and you've been doing it for years, and we're going to take advantage. You're all going to have to get rid of some cards. Let's see. Like Baird's going away. Dominaria United's phasing out. A couple of these others I think are leaving, but not too many. And you know what? We did this all without Jaro and Hazoret, so who cares if Jaro and Hazoret goes away? You can. Let me know if there are any questions. Let me know how you're enjoying the Kaizen Evil playlist. If you're new and you haven't seen it yet, just go on to the playlist section, look up for Kaizen. It'll be there, Kaizen, and you can start at what I think was the most evil thing that you could do in Magic the Gathering and going up to present day.